All right, hello everyone. Welcome to the Three Kingdoms tournament. We have a bit of a smaller turnout than initially expected, but we are up and running. And apologies for a little bit of delay. This is the first time, so we're just trying to get things warmed up. And I take full responsibility for not having a larger tournament because it was a bit of a shorter notice, but the goal was just to get our feet wet with this first tournament, and we can optimize or promote more moving forward. Okay, so I'm going to just be sending an invite now to USSR to get him in the lobby, and we also have RTK's Scyther here with us as well. So welcome to both of them. Oh, USSR Toten has already joined in the lobby. So I'm going to just ask the participants if there's anything that they'd like us to say about them before they get underway. Scyther, quick bio, anything I should tell people about you? How long you have been playing, etc. Where you're from. Okay, so Scyther is from Portugal, so welcome. I've never been to Portugal, but it's a great place, I am told. I've been to Spain, which is close, and to the Portuguese, it's probably a heresy to say that they're the same, but from North America, there's probably as close as you can get. Uh, yeah. So MR Defender is just asking me if we have a lobby. We just started the live stream. And I'm going to share the live stream actually with the Dark Dynasty chat just so that people realize that we are in fact live. Just give me a moment here. Live control. Excellent. So here we are. And I'm going to put my camera up in here too, just so that we can say hello to everyone. Hi. I was out with a lady this morning. Celebrating my dog's birthday, and it was burning hot, and I had to run back here to to get back in time for this tournament. So apologies for being a little bit sweaty, but hello and thanks for joining us. So yeah, we're gonna try our best to get this running. I'm just gonna drop this link in the Druchi chat so people realize that we're live in the Dark Dynasty chat. Damn, guys are live for the 3K tourney. Enjoy. Okay. So I should probably focus now. I'm spectating. It looks like we are waiting on the players to ready up now. So it looks like they've selected as we've requested. Actually, so Scyther is hosting this lobby because I don't think I can host as a spectator. So he is going to be setting up the map selection. I'm just going to check with him if he's done what was it? Beak C, I think was the one. Let me double check what I wrote it down in the sign up and rules here. We were going to say backseat, summer, day and dry. Okay, so yeah, just to continue the bio on Scyther, well, we're just tweaking that. So he does say he's from Portugal. He's in the RTK clan, Round Table Knights. I never knew what RTK was, but that's good to know. Probably that dates back to the medieval Total War days. And he's been playing Total War for plus or minus 6 years, so that's cool. Definitely a vet. And I'm gonna just ask USSR Toten the same thing. I'm not sure if these two competitors know each other. Yeah, I'm not sure if they know each other. I'm just going to ask Toten if there's anything he'd like to share in terms of his bio. We will see. But it looks like players are pretty much ready. Um, I've clicked ready, so I think it's just up to the players now to press start. The map selection appears like it's good. So so in terms of Three Kingdoms, I'm still I'm still learning a lot myself. Oh, Toadin's asking me about the rules, so I'm just going to give him a quick refresher. So I'm going to just send him that information. Bear with us just a second here while we get this started. So in case people are not familiar with the rules, so we've agreed that this will be a 1v1 tournament with 15k unit funds. Both armies must be attackers, large unit size, and we're saying, yeah, so you can break 3 cav plus the 3 cav that are your generals. So that's a max of, if you add the 2 up, that's a total of 6. But you're only picking actually 3 retinues that are cavalry plus, and then you have your 3 generals. And then you can have up to 6 ranged units, and then there is one polearm unit that is able to shoot, and because they're classified as polearm infantry, I'm going to allow you to bring them, and it won't count against your 6 ranged units that you can bring. So I guess in theory, if you bring that polearm unit that can shoot, you could have more than 6 units that can shoot. But if it's not good, then in future tournaments we might change that rule. But for this one, because the polearm infantry that can shoot is classified as a polearm infantry, we're going to allow that. Yep. So we will play a best of 3. Actually, you know what? Let's do best of 5. Since there's only 2 people. Yes? Maybe Scyther thinks best of 5 is too much. Okay. Yeah, so we'll do best of 5 because we have time. There's only 2 people. We were gonna do best of 3 because we were thinking there might be a few more people involved, but since we only have 2, yeah, artillery counts towards your ranged cap, but you can bring it. We'll play a best of 5. So I think we're almost ready. I think Toten is just tweaking his army a little bit here. So yeah, we're starting now. Good luck to both competitors. I hope you have fun. Battle of Bakshi, Livestock Farm, match number 1. Featuring RTK's Scyther and USSR Toten Viking. I still didn't get any bio information from USSR Viking, but maybe that's going to come later. And if not, I will just say, if the name didn't give it away, USSR seems to be from Russia. So, cool. Russia versus Portugal. So with respect to this map selection, we've picked it because it's a fairly straightforward map. It looks beautiful. You got that nice like Oxbow River winding its way around on the far side. Look at this, gorgeous. And for the most part, it's pretty flat and open, which means that it offers good visibility for the purposes of tournament viewing. So I am expecting we will see a little bit more archer play, but there's also should be good maneuverability for the cavalry because there's not a lot of trees and other things that might muck them up. Okay, so I think our contestants are just loading in right now. Hopefully they will be ready soon. I'll just take another sip of water while we're waiting for them to load in. Bit more. So I guess the hope is that we'll be able to grow the Three Kingdoms community a little bit. I know that to this point, I mean, certainly my clan and you know, the network I've been involved in has been very Warhammer focused, but it does seem that there's some overlap in the communities between, you know, the Warhammer fans and the Three Kingdoms fans. And so I think that's how we ended up doing this tournament, because it is, I mean, at its heart, there's still real-time strategy games, and Cav, Spears, and Archers is going to be the backbone of any of these games. So very cool. So let's go over the unit selection. So 30. So this is actually, it doesn't tell me the player name, but I'm thinking. You know what? I'm totally embarrassed. I don't know who is who, but I'm going to say. I'm just going to go over the armies first, and we'll figure out later who actually brought what. So horseback huntsmen times 2, and then a unit of heavy J dragons for the red army. There's some G militia in the front line. These are just the sword variants, so they're going to be looking to. Oh no, these are the spears. They have some spears. They're going to be looking to just hold the line. Some horseback huntsmen on the far side, and some more J dragon. Actually, I think we are over our cavalry limit here. Wait, let's see. Yeah, because we have 1, 2, 3 units of cav. That's too many cavalry according to the army limits. Let me double count to make sure I'm not going crazy here. So 1, 2, 3 units of cav from the generals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's too many units of cavalry. So I think this game will be maybe just for fun, or we're going to have to remake, unfortunately. I'm just going to send a quick note because I'm sure it was accidental. I'm gonna ask Scyther if it was him. Oh wait, I forgot. No, the horse archers did not count as. My apologies. The horse archers counted as range cavalry. They were not the shock or the melee cavalry. We're good. So let me double count that again. I'm sorry for that mix up there. So 1, 2 units of horse archers cavalry, so they don't count. It's only the heavy cavalry and the generals. Yeah, so we're good. Yeah, so they follow the rules. That's fine here. I just double check this army here. So 3 generals, 2 units of melee cavalry, 3 units of melee cavalry. We're good. Yep, my apologies. Sorry for the mix-up, guys. All right, so initial engagements here. So what we're seeing is the cavalry is sitting in the back. We have the heavy jade dragons anchoring the cavalry times 3 units for the red army. And then on this side we have 1, 2, 3 units of cav for the general, and then medium spear cavalry over here, and more medium spear cavalry. So it looks like the blue army has gone with an infantry-centric build, whereas the red army has gone with a more mobile cavalry-centric build. So 1, 2, 3 units of J dragons, and then the archer cav plus the general. So everyone is within the rules of the tournament in terms of the army selection. So what you can see is the Watchmen of Peace, the crossbow infantry, which are amongst the most elite archer units in the game, are going to be squaring up and scaring off these horseback huntsmen. So nice counter to the skirmishers there. Recognizing that, the Red Army's cavalry, which I believe is USSR, has pulled back and is just going to, I guess, hold his time here. So we are seeing Watchmen of the Peace in both armies, clearly a centerpiece unit, and these are supported by peasant archers and archer militia. So both armies definitely looking to use the shooting to maximum effect here. We are not seeing any artillery, so it looks like the meta is with the archers. A little bit of clumping up of the infantry here with the Watchmen of the Peace, and I'm noticing that they are not in loose formation. On the other hand, this Red General Army, which I believe again is USSR, has switched his peasant archers into into loose formation. They are taking a lot of damage, but presumably less than they would otherwise be taking because of the loose formation. That said, the Watchmen of the Peace do seem to be out-trading them, at least initially. We'll see if that continues to be the case. They do a little bit more damage. Over here, the Horseman archers have been screened out. They have not been able to get into the I guess really the choice targets, which would probably be the generals at the back. And over here there is a lot of archer fire just training down. Interesting that the Watchmen of the Peace, instead of trying to snipe out missile units, are trying to clear out the spear units. You notice the focus fire is going into the spears, and that is presumably going to open up the cavalry play for the red unit. So we are seeing Lu Bu has been selected by both of the armies. We also have Gong Du and Hu Zhu Huang and Pei Yuan Shao. That's me trying to speak Chinese. We'll see how that is. On the far side, we do see the horseback huntsmen getting caught up by the Zhiliang cavalry, the medium cavalry. That's going to be counteracted by G Militia and Jade Dragons, but recognizing that the medium cavalry will be pulling out. In the front line, things are getting very heated. The Saber Infantry are going to be dishing it up with the generals here. It looks like a charge did get in and depleted half a unit of Saber Infantry. There's a countercharge from Zhu Huang, and over on the far flank, Lu Bu is going to be chasing off some archer units and getting in a nice charge here. Over on the other side, we do see the archer pocket has been relatively secure, and the Protectors of Heaven are going to be trading with the Zhu Militia on this flank. Over here, it looks like the infantry is for the most part stable. A lot of the front line of the Red Army, which I believe is USSR, is tattered. Archer units are fleeing away. On this side, the medium spear cavalry has been caught up by a general and by the halberds and the heavy spear cavalry, the Jade Dragons, so they are almost certainly going to lose that fight. But now that this general Lu Bu has deployed into the back, chasing off the archers, it is taking a lot of fire from these other archers, which have just turned around and are sniping down Lu Bu. This is going to be very painful if the general is routed off the field. Likewise, it looks like Zhu Huang has been 2v1 from Lu Bu and Dian Wei, and so he will not be long in this world. So the Sentinel is almost down. Likewise, the Vanguard is almost down, General. So all that will be left is the veteran Pei Yuan Shao, and I do think it's going to be an uphill fight now for USSR Toshin Viking. So we will see if he is able to turn things around. The balance bar is shading very heavily, I think, in the favor of RTK's Scyther, but I don't want to call this game too early. You never know what might happen. So archer units have regrouped. We do see some tattered units over on the periphery that may or may not rally. The generals, Lu Bu, Dian Wei, and Gong Du are relatively healthy, and really it's just a very depleted Lu Bu and Pei Yuan Shao that are left. Over here, Watchmen of Peace are going to be chipping away at the Zhiliang cavalry, the medium cavalry there. And Dian Wei, it looks like he's got himself in a bit of a tight spot here, so potential turning point here. These G Militia with the halberd infantry are going to do very well against the cavalry with the support of Pei Yuan Shao. Recognizing this, it looks like Scyther is sending over a unit of spear warriors to support that fight. He is in melee, he is exhausted, so it's very atrocious over here. On the far side, the Watchmen of the Peace looks like are going to be trading with these horseback huntsmen.
Our warriors
They are
run.
very depleted, but I think
Craven
the
dogs.
huntsmen are going to get depleted over here. Gong Du is going to come over here, probably support this fight against Pei Yuan Shao. And over here, Lu Bu, it looks like he's been chasing off routing units, but I expect that he's going to rotate over here into the fight and help just to overwhelm the rest of these G militia. Now the G militia are taking the pressure from the heavy glaive infantry, the protectors of heaven, and so the support of the glade infantry plus Jiang Wei is going to be able to secure the rest of that victory. And I believe that that will be the end of the first game. So well played. I think that was victory to Scyther. So we will be hopping on to the next match. So we did say we were going to play a best of 5. So lots of opportunity for Toten Viking to make some adjustments and see if he can turn things around. Yeah, it would be nice if it said who was who in game. I had a little trouble remembering which one was red and which one was blue, but actually I can see here in the lobby there's a blue circle around Scyther, and there's a red circle around Toten Viking, so that will help me keep it straight in the actual game. So just to be clear, I know I was a little bit confused at the start there, but the first game went to RTK Scyther, so congratulations to Scyther for pulling off that win. And apologies for not having a screen up to block the army compositions. I just didn't. I didn't have time for that. Oh, I see. I see. We have someone in chat here. Do I have any theories on who the tournament favorites are? For tuning in. Nope. No idea who is the favorite. First time I've casted a game with these players. Obviously, they are both very experienced and capable. Okay, so we'll see what sort of adjustments Totem Viking is going to be making in this next match. It did look like he struggled to get value out of the missile cavalry in that matchup because they were just screened out by the archer fire of RTK Scyther. And so I'm not sure what the answer would have been. Maybe he needed to put them into melee. It did look like he tried to get them into melee into the back line, sort of mid to late game. But certainly early on, they were ineffective. So maybe Totem Viking will cut those missile cavalry and opt to go with some more traditional archers, or maybe we'll see him go wider with a few more shielded infantry to sort of soak up some of the archer fire. It does seem that we've been seeing certainly a shooting meta in the Three Kingdoms environment. Just to give people some context, I did play a couple of practice games with RTK's Kafta yesterday, who was just giving me a bit of an introduction to the game and familiarizing me a little bit more with some of the different unit types and just top level strategies. I admit wholeheartedly I'm still very new to the Three Kingdoms scene, but what I did experience from playing 3 practice games with him was that shooting is very, very powerful in the current meta, and I expect to see more shooting here. In particular, the crossbow archers are extremely powerful because they have a very long range. They also have access to armor penetrating shots, and yeah, so we'll see. I think really, I mean, if both armies bring the same number of archer units, then the question is really going to be who can position their units in the right situation. And the other thing that I've learned from those practice games that I had against Kafta was that it's often wise to bring the maxed out versions of the generals, which is part of the reason why we've opted to go with the higher unit funds, the 15,000 gold price point, because it allows people to bring those higher tier generals and gives them access to sort of their special capabilities. And likewise, they get options to select a wider range of unit types and so on. So it offers a little bit more tactical versatility, I think. So Adelmo of Otranto, I'm not sure if you can hear me there in the chat. Where can I ask just where you're from? If you're also involved in the RTK scene, or is that Kafta by any chance? Just with a different YouTube name. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'm muted. Who knows? Going on to match number 2. So we have both players bringing Guan Yu, and then, yeah, probably just a mix of calves, spears, and archers, as is tradition for Three Kingdoms. So we shall see. I will say it does offer a bit of a different vibe and aesthetic than the Warhammer 2 the Warhammer 2 format, which I am most familiar with. I'm just going to shut the blinds a little bit because it was a little bit bright outside. It's kind of hard to see my screen. I thought we were going to play daytime. It looks like this is sort of a sunset. I don't know if that's intentional, but I'm not too fussy about it. I'm sure it's fine for both participants. Yes. Max 6 of all kind of missiles, right? That's true. Okay. So we're back at Battle of Bakshi, the livestock farm. Okay, going over army selection. So we are seeing the heavy cavalry again, the Jade Dragons, horseback huntsmen. Again, more Jade Dragons and horseback huntsmen. So it looks like USSR Toten Viking has stuck with his guns and what he's most familiar with. We are seeing Guandu, Gongshanzan, and Guan Yu. So maybe a little bit of change in the general selection here. We have the veteran, vanguard, and champion combination. And on the other side, we have a sentinel, a veteran, and a champion in Guan Yu, Pei Yuan Xiao, and Zhu Huang in reverse order. In terms of the backlines, we've got some, the cavalry, we've got the Lancer Militia, so that medium cavalry again, or actually light cavalry this time, light halberd cavalry, and light halberd cavalry. So maybe going with the light halberd cavalry to perhaps chase down those horsemen archers. We do have watchmen of peace again, 3 units of watchmen of peace, which are the crossbows, 4 units of watchmen of peace, and then archer militia. So symmetrical formation here, protectors of heaven, guardians. So halberds basically in the front, glaive infantry, and spears. And so fairly tight formations here. It looks like USSR Toten is leading with his missile units, whereas interestingly, Scyther has put his spears in front and his missile units behind. So it looks like USSR Toten is going for a missile formation. He does have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units of archer militia. Yeah, it looks like USSR has too many units of too many shooting units here. So I think we can let this game play out. But if Scyther loses this game, then I think he has the right to challenge the outcome, and because there are too many shooting units, I believe. Let me double check here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. 6. But let's let this one play out. I'm sure it was an accident by Toten Viking, and we can recalibrate and play another game if we need to. But maybe Scyther will be able to pull it out anyways. So what we are seeing is the light cavalry are going to be chasing down those horseback huntsmen. In terms of speed, these horseback huntsmen have a speed of 60, 65. These ones have a speed of, well, anyway, they caught them, 65. Over here, it does look like, oh, we're running into a little bit of lag issues here, but one unit of bowmen have been shot off the field. I'm assuming these are the Protectors of Heaven. We got some lag here. It's unfortunate because last game we didn't have any lag. Okay, Spear Warriors, Protectors of Heaven. Yeah. So it looks like one unit of Archer Militia have been taken down, but the Watchmen of Peace are still alive and well, and they are focus firing down another unit of Watchmen of Peace on the other side. Likewise, the Archer Militia are being focus fired by Watchmen of Peace on the far side. So there is some nice focus fire going down here, whereas these Watchmen of Peace are not focus firing versus other Archer units. They're sort of going into the Protectors of Heaven, the heavy glade infantry, and are being content with taking out, again, those sort of counters to the cavalry play. So there are 3 units of Saber Militia here which are sort of backing up the Watchmen of the Peace. I would be tempted to send them forward, but I mean, I'm sure these players are both much better than I am, so take anything I say with a grain of salt. So the light bow cavalry here looks like they've escaped the clutches of the light halberd, and there's been counterplay from the Jade Dragons. The Pei Yuan Shao general, excuse me, is going to go over there and counter. On the far side, Gong Shun Jiao has been caught up and sniped out, it looks like, and yeah, not having a good day, so he's been shattered, or at least fleeing. On the other side, we have Guan Yu and Gong Du, which are still relatively healthy. So we'll see how that plays out. The light cavalry over here, the Lancer Militia, have been beaten off, and Pei Yuan Shao is going to be trading with these heavy spear cavalry, but being shot at the same time. It would be nice if a unit of spears or something could be sent over there to support, but nothing so far. So the archers are shooting on Gong Sun Yao, just escorting him off the field, but perhaps they could switch to another target here at these Watchmen of the Peace, because essentially this unit is no longer effective. We do have some horseback huntmen on the far side. Maybe they're going to be shifting into melee, but yeah, it looks like Scyther is pulling ahead here. And now we're going to see a battle of the generals taking place here between Guan Yu, and Gong Du. So Guan Yu is winning, it looks like here, but he's also outnumbered 2-1. So I'm expecting that to turn against the favor of Guan Yu unless he can get some support. It looks like Zhu Huang is rotating over to provide some support, and Gong Du has taken a lot of damage and is wavering. And so if he breaks off, then I would expect that a 2v1 of Guan Yu and Zhu Huang are going to be able to break off Guan Yu. Keep in mind that in the back there are 2 units of Watchmen of the Peace that are shooting in versus only 1 unit of Watchmen of the Peace shooting in on the other side. So I do expect that damage could add up. But actually the Jade Dragons have well, they continue to trade with Pei Yuan Shao. So I think the critical engagement over here was losing that first general, because having the 3 generals versus the 2 generals could be the turning point. That said, Zhu Huang has been caught up again with the two generals here. It looks like there was a unit of G Militia. Maybe I missed that earlier. So having G Militia mixed in here with these generals may have bought some additional time and sort of leveled the playing field. Over here, there's some some G militia and Saber militia that are going to get into the Watchmen of the Peace, so that is a good situation for them to be in. There are some Guardians of the Land, heavy halberd infantry that are nearby, which will provide some support and perhaps break them off, and it looks like they are able to do that along with the Protectors of Heaven. This flank has been all but won, and it looks like that will be the end of the second game. So, good game, well played to both opponents. That will be match number 2. So, it looks like RTK Scyther was able to pull off the win, even though Toten Viking had slightly exceeded the missile unit cap. Yeah, I'm just double counting here. So there were 8 units of missiles, and the cap was supposed to be 6. But mistakes happen, and this is a friendly tournament, so you know, we'll live with it for now. Scyther does go up 2 games to 0. So if he's able to secure the next game, that will be 3 wins, and in a best of 5 series, that will secure the victory for RTK Scyther. We'll give Toten Viking a chance to regroup here, see if he has some other tricks up his sleeve. So it's interesting. RTK Scyther was able to rely sufficiently on the medium and the light cavalry to sort of get the job done, and then going a little bit more high tier with his shooting units. These Watchmen of Peace, Watchmen of Heaven, I forget their name, but they've actually absolutely paid dividends and have really formed the backbone of his army. So it looks like he is switching up his general choices a little bit. He's gone with Kong Rong, which, as I learned yesterday, does does provide some buffs to the stats there. I'm just gonna, while these players are making their army, I'm gonna double check in on the YouTube chat and see what else is going on. Has tournament got a catchy name? So, has the tournament got a catchy name? No. No catchy name but I'm open to suggestions for the future. So for the Canes Cup, we had like 2 Canes, 1 Cup, and that was pretty funny if you know the internet context behind that. I'm not going to explain that for you guys. That's on your own lack of morality or whatever you want to call it to figure out. Maybe that's not the right term, perverseness. But yeah, if you got any witty names for Three Kingdoms Flash tournaments going forward, I'm all open to it. If you know the historical context behind the Three Kingdoms period and can educate me about it in a nutshell, because I have a very limited attention span nowadays, it seems. But all that stuff is cool. I mean, that's a lot of what makes the historical games fun, is knowing that context. And, you know, I'm slowly starting to get a little bit more familiar with the different generals and what they can provide, but for sure I would need to play test a lot more to really fully understand this game. In any case, we're hopping on to game number 3. So we're going to see Zhang Fei versus Kong Rong and company. It'd be nice if they showed like all 3 generals or whatever in this select. Like it's a little dry, I think, this load screen. Yeah, there's a lot of space that's not really used here. I'd like to see it better optimized, but yeah. C'est la vie. That's French for that's life. Okay. So I'm going to say good luck, have fun. we're gonna do match numero 3. More French. I guess I'm in the French mood for today. I don't know any. I don't know any Portuguese. Obrigado. That's my Portuguese. And Russian. Oh gosh. I don't know any Russian. I don't even. I don't think I know a single word of Russian. How embarrassing is that? Maybe I will learn later. I don't know. No promises. Okay. So, from USSR Toten. I hope I didn't mix up his name there. Toten Viking. We have some Jade Dragons again. Big fan of that heavy cavalry, and maybe if it got some nice charges into some saber infantry or things like that, or some unbraced spears, it could do some damage. I think if you're going to bring the heavy cavalry, maybe you just need to be a little bit more aggressive and not spend so much time just trading archer fire. Just get in there, get your hands dirty, and get it done. He does have the saber militia, and to support the archers against spears. I mean, I think if you're USSR Toten, you probably want to be the aggressor here. You got a lot of saber militia, you got a lot of heavy cavalry. I would just get in there, get my hands dirty, and move on with my day. Whereas for RTK's Scyther, you are seeing again a more traditional defensive build with the G militia, defensive front line, the glaive infantry, and then you've got your crossbow infantry in the midline, crossbowmen, Fury Beihai, which are going to synergize really well with Kong Rong, who, like I said earlier, is going to buff their stats. They're very good range. Let's just check that. Yeah, 250 range. You've got 54 armor penetration. So these are really the best of the best in terms of shooting. Again, we're seeing some light halberd cavalry in the backline. So really where RTK Scyther is spending his money is on his shooting. So I think hopefully we're going to see a little bit like super aggressive style here from USSR's Toten Viking. And yeah, it looks like Scyther, like I said, he's going with that defensive formation, and it's worked 2 games in a row. So until Toten Viking comes up with a counter to it, why change, right? So aside from changing the generals, I mean, it looks like this is what RTK Scyther is doing. So what you're seeing here is focus fire. So every game, you're seeing 3 units versus 1 unit in the shooting. And on the other side, I don't know if the focus firing is coming back in the other direction. It looks like they're just starting to fire now. But again, they're not focusing down the missile units per se. And maybe that's costly because of how powerful the missile units seem to be. But this time, the Saber Militia are going in, and they're not wasting time getting into the fight, and they're going to be backed up by the heavy cavalry, who are just kind of baiting their time. And yeah, so the G militia are going to try and lock up the spears and halberds on the flanks, and the saber militia are going right into the middle here. So I'm going to expect to see some counter charges here from RTK Scyther to sort of buy himself some additional time to shoot, and it looks like this is exactly what might be happening. The cavalry is shifting up a little bit closer into position, and look at this damage coming in on Zhang Fei. The archers have switched the focus fire to Zhang Fei now that the missile units have come off and he's come into range, and that is absolutely punishing. He's lost a general before it's even reached the front line. That just shows you how strong the missile play is in this game. So knowing this, I mean, as a spectator watching this game, I would be very, very hesitant to put my general into the front line if 6 units of archers are able to just delete him so quickly. I mean, it went from full health to 0 before he even reached the front line. That's absolutely punishing. And the balance bar has started to shift already because of that, it seems. Over here, we do have Zhu Chu, who has been caught up a little bit by the Lancer Militia. And what you're seeing is that the Lancer Militia have just been used to pin things in place. But actually, in this case, the G Militia plus Zhu Chu have beat him off. Over here, Ma Chao and Yuan Shou have basically locked blades in the back line. Maybe that's going to be favor Yuan Shou as long as he can stay out of range of the missile units. But actually, he's very depleted here, and it looks like he's going to be Not long for this world. Over here, the G militia are chasing off these light halberd cavalry, but I don't think they have any chance of catching them. And RTK Scyther is very nimbly evading those light halberd infantry for now, and just sending them on a goose chase into the distance. The Jade Dragons have been shot out, and it looks like RTK's backline is very secure. All of these archers have been firing for the entire fight and just picking off exactly what, basically whatever they want. Balance power is shifting very heavily in favor of RTK's Scyther, so I think that the outcome of this battle is highly probable at this point. But we'll watch it and watch the end here. It's the last stand of Zhu Chu versus Sun Yuan. I'm gonna maybe take away some of this, some of the details here, and we'll just appreciate some of these cinematics here as the final fights go on. Oh, a little bit of lag here, but it is a beautiful game. You gotta give credit to the Total War developers for creating an absolutely stunning game. Yep, success is large. Maybe Toten Viking has decided to leave the game. I'm unsure. But we are experiencing a little bit of lag here, and I apologize for that. Maybe for future tournaments, we're going to have to find a way to turn down the graphics settings. I'm not sure how powerful. It looks like he's dropped in. Maybe he just left the game. I'm not really sure. But congratulations to RTK Scyther. I think we can call that one, yeah, so it is a close victory in favor of Scyther. So congratulations to RTK Scyther for pulling out the win. Thank you so much for playing. To Toten Viking. It looks like he has left the chat, so I'm hoping he's not too frustrated with the outcome. I know sometimes for tournament play it can be a very passionate experience, but we hope to see you around in the future, Toten Viking. And yeah, RTK Scyther, nicely done. We'll try and recruit a few more people for future tournaments, but you certainly showed what you were capable of there. So thanks for playing. It's a short and sweet tournament, and we'll see if we can get some more stuff organized in the future. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care.